Hi, this is Ruth, one of the naturalists from Beaver Creek, and as I was out on the trail, I was kind of excited because I found a actual treasure. And so this is down here by Beaver Creek, and I'm thinking it probably washed in with one of the floods. But I did find this little skull. Now, a lot of times when people find a skull, they make all sorts of wild ideas about what the skull is. What we need to do is take a little bit of time and think for a second. First off, we can see how big this skull was. Remembering that the skull is usually about 1/3 or 1/4 the whole body length. And so it wouldn't make sense to say that this was a squirrel or that this was a deer. It would be a very small deer, really huge squirrel. Because if you figure if the head's about 1/4, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So this animal's maybe about somewhere in this kind of length. So we're talking about a fairly large animal, maybe a large house cat size. The teeth are missing, but there's still enough teeth here to figure out what's going on. We can see the holes where teeth used to be. So he has front teeth, like us, and then there's 2 holes here, which tell me that he did have canines, which makes him either a carnivore or an omnivore. Because the herbivores, the plant eaters, don't have any holes right here because they don't need to tear apart their food. And then the places where the molars are very long and skinny, and there's actually 2 molars, or actually in this case carnassials, left here, and we can see that they're very thin and very sharp, unlike ours. If you feel with your tongue, our molars are kind of flat and take up more space. They come up like this and then flatten off at the top. This one came up and was sharp. So this is a carnivore or a meat eater. When we look at this size, we think about the meat eaters or carnivores that are out in the wild. They either belong to the dog family, the cat family, or the weasel family. Now, because this one has a snout, it's going to be in the dog family. Cat families they look like they ran into a wall. Their skull is flat. And the weasel family is more triangle in shaped than this. This is very, very long and skinny as opposed to shaped like a triangle. And so we start thinking of, dog family that's this big. Too small for a coyote, way too small for a wolf. Now we're probably down into the foxes. Now Wisconsin is home to 2 foxes. We have red fox and gray fox. Now this one, gray fox are smaller than red fox, but that gets a little bit hard to tell from a size. But what I can look at on this is there's a crest on the forehead that makes a very sharp V. Now what I know about foxes and from back in my college days, scientific name is Vulpes vulpes for a red fox. So he has the V. The gray fox is Vulpes ursiron, which has a U. So if this crest was way more U-shaped, then it would be gray fox. So this is a little red fox skull that we found here. Now what happens if the teeth are missing? We can still look at the eye sockets. We can still get a general idea of how big the animal maybe was. And we might not be able to get down to exactly what animal it was, but we can make a logical guess. Now these huge eye sockets are going to tell you something about when the animal is active. If we think about animals like owls and raccoons and cats, they have very large eyes. So nocturnal animals have large eyes to let in more light. So we would at least know that this was a nocturnal or nighttime animal if all we had was this part of the skull. Now, sometimes people will say, how come we don't find bones and where's the rest of the animal? Like I said, I suspect this one washed in on the last flood, and so the other parts of the body are probably all over the place. But when we think about all the animals that live out here with us, and some of them die every day, either from a predator or old age or get hit by a car, why don't we find bones? These bones are a very good vitamin nutrition source for little critters. Mice, squirrels, chipmunks, those types of things chew on the bones to get the calcium and other vitamins and minerals from the bones. So they don't really go to waste. They do go back into other animals. So when you're out on the trail, make sure that you keep your eye open for little treasures like this. Have fun.
Hi, I'm Eric Keisler, Executive Director from Beaver Creek Reserve. Thanks for watching this great educational video from our staff. To find out more information like this and others, check out our website at beavercreekreserve.org. You can also support us by being a member or donating to our endowment campaign, which is supporting Beaver Creek through this COVID-19 crisis. Thank you. We appreciate your time.